everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to another episode of B Movie Bash.
B Movie Bash.
My name is Shannon.
I'm Alyssa.
And I know we say this every week, but boy, oh boy,
Oh
boy, do we have a fun one today.
I'm excited for this one because this is the one Shannon has been trying to watch. Apparently.
I think I've started it like 4 times in a very short span of time. I watched it all the way through once, and then every time I tried taking notes, I got like 25 minutes in and just had to stop. And I just never got any further than that until this more recent time because I had to. So it is awful.
Okay. What's it called?
It is called Jurassic Shark.
Oh.
Okay. It was made in 2012.
Okay.
So yep.
Bad year for things to come out.
It has a 1.5 out of 10 on IMDb.
Oh, that's worse than the one I did.
Yeah. It's actually worse than 12-12-12.
How?
I don't know. I mean, I do know.
Because
you'll see. But, oh, Lord.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Also, I wanted to point out that House Shark, which we did a few episodes ago, had 4.3 out of 10. Oh. That was its rating.
I remember that.
This is 1.5.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I thought I picked the worst shark movie of all time, but okay.
You thought wrong.
Okay, but does this one have pubes on face?
It does not have pubes on face.
Okay, I think mine beats yours for
that. It
that.
does. Yours has like a little bit of a gross factor.
Yes. Mine was also a comedy.
That's true. Yes. This is, I think, serious.
Oh, okay.
So, let me paint you a little picture that I think you'll appreciate.
Okay.
So, think back, if you will, to when you watched Lizzie Borden's Revenge.
Oh.
Okay, episode 3, if you haven't listened to it yet.
Was it really episode 3?
Yeah.
It was that long ago?
Yeah.
Holy fuck, man.
Yeah.
I feel like I just watched that fucking movie.
I know, because it's burned in your head.
Do.
Okay, and it was by Tomcat Productions, right?
Oh, no. Is it Tomcat Productions?
Welcome to another Tomcat Productions.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So this is the same shitty quality. Imagine that CG blood with a shark.
Oh, no.
Okay? Yeah. So,
My shark movie had a house suit with a laser gun on it.
It did, and an apron. Yeah, this one's just bad CG.
That's how you know it's a female house shark. I'm excited.
Yes. So,
Shut up.
it's only an hour and 5 minutes long.
Oh boy, we both had short ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
We recorded 2 episodes today, by the way. So
sorry.
That's why we're talking like that. But yeah. So Jurassic Shark. So it starts off with a black screen, and they give us the definition of the word Megalodon.
Okay.
Okay. So a Megalodon, meaning big tooth, is an extinct species of shark that lived roughly from 28 to 1.5 million years ago.
Okay.
Okay. Regarded as one of the largest and most powerful predators in history.
Okay.
Had a profound impact on the structure of marine communities and can be up to 52 feet in length. Just remember that.
Okay.
Okay? 52 fucking feet.
Okay.
Like a regular shark is huge.
Is that like the size of a bus? No, that's bigger than a bus, right?
I don't know. But this is big. We're going to do some research for a second.
Yeah, let me...
A normal shark is 15 to 16 feet long.
Oh, okay.
How much is a school bus?
40 to 42 feet, so it's bigger than a school bus.
Bigger than a school bus.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Keep that in your brain space for later. For now, it starts with 2 girls who are so excited about being on the quote-unquote beach. It's like gravel. It's like a lake shore. It's not a beach, okay? But they're super excited. And their names are Brittany and Tiffany.
Okay.
But we never find out Brittany's name. I had to look that up. And Tiffany's name, we don't learn for another like 10 minutes. So,
Okay.
they don't really matter, but I thought that was weird.
Okay.
Yeah. So, they didn't even slip in like, oh, Brittany, can you, like something. No.
I feel like it's, I don't know. I feel like it's so unnatural to say like a person's name.
It's true.
Like, when you know who they are, kind of a thing, unless you're trying to get their attention.
Yeah.
So, like, I hardly ever call you Rannon. Like, I call Shannon Rannon. But, like, I hardly ever, like...
Use my name.
Use your name.
Yeah.
Unless I'm talking about you to someone else.
Yeah.
Or if you're like, oh, hey, wait, Rannon, come back. Like, like...
Yeah. Like, my sister just yesterday was like, hey, Shannon, do you have some chapstick? And she was like, why did your name sound weird? I was like, I don't know.
Because she didn't call you sis.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That's definitely what we normally do.
How normal people talk in movies. Calling them sis and bro.
Yeah, hey bro.
Yeah.
I call everyone but my brother that.
Right?
But yeah, so we don't really learn Brittany's name, and we learn Tiffany's name way later. But anyway, the camera work here is terrible.
Okay.
Like, it's very much like a person is holding the camera and like moving around, and like, why can't you get one of those things that makes the camera steady?
Like,
do you want it
tripod?
to look like a horror movie?
Something.
Do you want to look like a high schooler filmed this? Yeah. So it was very terrible.
Well, in that case, they definitely got a tripod for Lizzie Borden's Revenge. So
Nice. Do you remember what year that came out?
Recent enough to not be using, the D word.
2013.
Yeah.
So yes, they did move up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they improved a little bit. So this was before.
When did this come out?
2012.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So the girls talk about how they're on the perfect piece of beach and no one else is here. And I can't remember what, I think it's Brittany. He's like, are you sure we're allowed to be here? Like, there's no one else here. And Tiffany's like, who cares? Let's just enjoy it. So they pull out their beach towels and they lay out their towels on this gravel, sand, beach shore. And they get down to their string bikinis, of course. And all of this is in total silence. So it's like, lay out the towel, pull down my shorts, pull off my shirt. Like, without saying anything, no music, long-ass shot of them just stripping down. I'm like, okay, great.
Okay.
Cool. Then we see...
Oh, dude, they're still making movies. Sorry, I just saw... They've got... I'm going to have to watch some of these. They're Zombie Apocalypse.
Oh, no.
Escape from Area 51 just came out.
Oh,
The Amazing Bulk.
Watch them, like, make amazing movies now.
Aletta, Vampire Mistress. Metal Man.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to have to watch some of these.
Okay.
Bloody Mary.
Oh, no. What?
Sorry, I saw that Tomcat also did a darker 50 Shades, the fetish set.
No. We are not watching that. Do not watch that.
Anyway, sorry.
It's okay. So we switch scenes, and we see a scientist and, like, a chairman guy, and the scientist is, like, they, like, meet in a stairwell, and they, like, only film in this stairwell in this scene and in a different scene. I was like, is that all you could... You could, like, make a science building or, find a college.
Right.
But,
an empty classroom anywhere.
Yeah. So the chairman is like, hey, scientist man, who I don't think they ever said his name. He was like, I heard that we discovered an ice pocket while we were drilling on the island and all this stuff. And he was like, this lady doctor has some environmental concerns about what's going on. And the scientist is like, well, the ice began to melt, so they're just draining it into the lake, and everything's going to be fine. There's no issues. Everything will be safe. And then he says that the oil reserve that they found is 3 times bigger than they thought originally, so that's going to rack in the dough, you know. And Chairman's like, are you sure there's not going to be any issues? Like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, of course not. And he's like, okay, you may proceed with your project, with the drilling and whatever. And they shake hands, and the chairman walks away. And the scientist, who is probably like 50, he's like, yes! And like does a little like fist pump for himself. And I was just like, that feels very not like
okay.
what you would do.
Yep.
It was very awkward.
Don't like that.
No. So we're back to the girls. And Brittany's like, so what's the deal with this place anyway? And Tiffany talks about how a company used to own the island for oil drilling, but the company was shut down and now the island is uninhabited.
Okay.
Brittany's like, well, if they aren't drilling, they should just open it up to the public because this place is depressing. Like, it could be such a great spot if they're taking care of it and stuff. And I'm like, so is it beautiful or is it depressing? Because you were so excited to be on this beach and now you're like, screw this place.
Well, is it only an exciting place if more people are there? Like what
like,
are you
do
talking
you need
about
to spruce it up?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Yeah.
So wait, it's an island. They're on an island.
They're on an island.
Okay. How did Brittany and what's her face get here?
I think they took a boat.
Okay.
Yeah. Either that or like so it's a lake with an island. So they're either like on the outskirts of the lake or they're on the island. I'm not sure. But I think it's the island.
Okay.
Because that's where the drilling takes place.
Okay. That makes sense.
But they don't really explain.
Okay.
So Tiffany asks Brittany if she wants to go for a swim. And Brittany's like, what, in a pool or something? And she's like, no, in the lake. Spaz. And she calls her Spaz like 8 times. She's Spaz. I'm like, okay, 2012. And then Brittany's like, well, don't tell anyone, but I'm actually really scared of swimming in lakes because I'm afraid of sharks. And Tiffany's like, okay, spaz, you shouldn't be afraid because they don't live in fresh water and, you know, all this stuff, haha. And while they're talking, so there's like the one camera that's like a full shot, and then there's like shaky close-ups of each of them as they talk, and it's like going back and forth, and it was very bad. And it had a different filter from the wide shot, so the wide shot was like normal coloration, and then the close-ups were like more orangey. Okay. And I was like, why? Okay. And then we're back to the scientist who is coming down the stairs, and he runs into the female scientist that was worried about the environment. And she's like, we just need more time before we move on to the drilling. Like, I really need to check things out. I don't think this is a good idea. And she's like, the ice that we found was millions of years old, and it could have released bacteria or toxins into the water. Or worse. So we know what the or worse is.
Yeah. I would still be far more worse about bacteria.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Seems questionable to me.
Yes. And he's like, well, I'm not going to give you any more time. And he keeps going down the stairs. And so she like follows him. And she tries to stop him by standing in front of him and being like, no, like we need to talk about this. And he goes, really? And so she moves aside. I'm like, no, bitch.
No, bitch.
Stand your ground.
Yeah.
Like, you can't let him treat you like that. But she threatens to talk to the board about it. And he's like, well, I already talked to the board chairman. And the second phase started about 20 minutes ago. And she's like, well, fucking fuck. And, oh, also, there is no, like, boom microphone or microphones on them. So they're just talking in this echoey-ass stairwell. And it sounds so bad. It's literally like a high school project. Oh, I'm not kidding.
I wonder, like, I want to ask them, like, is Tomcat Productions, like, are they writing all these stories themselves? Or is it people coming to them being like, hey, we know you're low budget, we're low budget, this is our story, right? And they're like, let's do it.
Like, who teamed up with them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have all of the, like, they're all totally different movies. Like,
yeah, I don't know. They just have a lot of ideas, you know? And then while they're talking, there's suddenly like a rumble and the stairwell shakes. And I'm guessing it's an explosion. And then, well, we find out later that it was, but I was guessing. And then the female scientist just yells, "You drilled too deep!" And then we go back to the girls.
Okay.
On the beach.
How would drilling too deep cause an explosion? I need to go back to earth science because, like...
I don't know. But the girls hear the explosion, and you can, like, see it off in the distance behind them. And there's the rumbling, and Brittany asks, "What the F?" Which I just hate. Like, do it or don't. No, what the F? Yes.
It'd have been just as worse for her to say WTF.
Like, what the flip?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, no. But Tiffany's just like, oh, it's probably just an earthquake. And I'm like, what about that fucking explosion that was just in the sky?
Yeah.
What about that?
Yeah, we just
act like you didn't see it?
We're on the beach.
Right? It's fine.
It's fine.
And then she says, it was probably just a bunch of hillbillies.
Have you seen The Hills Have Eyes? Get out of there, then.
Also, this was filmed in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, they're very Canadian.
Okay.
But she says, you're such a psycho. We should just leave. Okay.
Okay.
That's a weird... Okay.
This is a weird conversation.
Yeah. So Tiffany's like, you need to relax. Let's just go in the lake. And she starts to go in. And Brittany's like, what are you doing? And so Tiffany's like, I'm going for a swim. And then Tiffany goes in a little bit deeper and she's like, see, there's nothing to worry about. It's totally fine. And we are shown a first person camera view of something swimming in the water. So it's like we're the ones swimming in the water, you know? And
it's not just a blue filter over it.
No, it's actual water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good job. Better than House Shark.
But there's now some dramatic music. And this is the first music we've heard in this film so far. The first background noise.
Is it typical shark music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely was. So Tiffany starts splashing Brittany. And Brittany, like, tells her to stop. And Tiffany's like, well, what are you going to do about it? And I'm like, what is this turning into?
What?
Well, all right.
What kind of friends are we?
I know. So Brittany goes in and starts splashing her back. And they're in about waist deep. And literally, like, no part of them looks wet during this scene. Or gets wet. Because they're just, like, like, flicking up water at each other. But not actually splashing.
Okay.
So, yep. And
it could ruin their hair.
I know. Oh, they're like laughing and squealing and like splashing the water at each other, and it's just very like awful. And then we get an underwater shot again, and then the girls are like, "Oh, you are so going to get it," and then Tiffany gets dragged under the water. Yeah,
I feel like if you ever say, "Oh, you are so going to get it,"
you're the next to die.
that and you're in a porno.
Yeah, also that.
Like,
Yeah,
that's what that is. So,
and then Brittany, like, instead of either exiting the water or trying to help, just like stands there and is like, Tiffany, 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 like 15 times, I swear. And I'm like, she's dead.
she's dead.
What do you want? Yeah. So she does that. Oh, and I timed it. She calls her name for 45 seconds
Oh my goodness.
before she gets pulled under the water.
See, 45 seconds isn't a lot.
But it's like,
But when you're watching
think about when you're microwaving something you really want to eat. 45 seconds is a long
it's a
time.
very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a long time.
When you're watching a movie that happens to be so long and you spend 45 precious seconds of this short movie
Going, Tiffany?
Tiffany
Yeah. Yeah. And they were definitely like, wait, what kind of girls? So
Yeah.
it's like, Tiffany. Tiffany? Tiffany. I was like, ah. Yeah. They were like Canada Valley girls. I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently we found them.
I don't know what that's all about.
I don't either. So then Jurassic Shark comes on the screen.
Okay.
But it like looks like it was made in Microsoft Word with like word art where it's
Ooh,
like
okay.
smaller in the middle and the ends get bigger, you know? I was like, okay, what am I, 10 years old again? That's cool.
Oh, word art.
Yeah. And then there are some credits that are played and like the background is just water like lapping up on the shores of this lake.
Okay.
Okay. So next we see a car pull up and this woman in leather boots and like black tight clothing steps out along with 4 men. And she's like, haul ass boys, and she's like this badass, not really
Boss bitch.
badass girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to get it out of the way, her name is Barb. And then the guys' names are
That's not.
yeah, Barb.
I wouldn't think of that as a badass bitch,
No.
boss bitch. I mean, I know a couple of Barbs, and they're great ladies. I wouldn't say that
And
they're
she was like 30 something
yeah,
too.
it's a little young. Like, I mean, 2012, but like still.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. I was like, Barb?
Yeah.
But then the guys' names are Jerry, Jack, Rich, and Doug. Okay?
Okay.
And Rich and Jerry are brothers.
Okay.
So Rich and Jerry get out and they go back to the trunk. And Rich is like, dude, this bitch is crazy. Like, oh my gosh, she killed this cop by just blowing his brains out and she didn't even care and all this stuff. And Rich looks like they couldn't afford Vin Diesel, so they got this guy.
Oh, okay.
He's like bald, he's wearing like a tiny ass tank top, and he's got huge arms. And then his brother looks nothing like him.
Okay.
But yeah, he's like, this girl is scary. And Jerry's like, well, don't let her hear you say that. Like, you're my only brother.
Like,
And
dude, she just killed a cop. She's gonna kill you.
yeah, like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And he's like, now help me out with this. And they like open the trunk and they start to move a painting that's wrapped in a tarp.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
If I had a painting that I was going to assume was worth a lot of money, are we assuming this is a very expensive painting? That painting would be in the back seat, and those guys would be in the trunk.
yeah. And would you be taking it over water?
No.
No. Well, they do.
Like they're carrying it, like by hand.
In a boat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like in a little boat.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a rowboat.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll get
not.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
So the other 2 guys are walking down like this dirt road and they are like walking toward a chain link fence. So we're like shooting through the fence for dramatic effect.
Yep.
And let's see, which one is it? I guess it's Jack. Is like, $62 million, Doug. Can you believe it? What are you going to do with your share? Ha ha ha. And
Okay,
Doug.
but who's okay? So like, I get it. You got something that is valued.
Yeah.
At that much.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a buyer already?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
They
Because
do.
like they talk all the time. They're like, dude, this is worth so much money. I'm like,
But
who?
who?
But who is buying it?
Yeah. And who's like, oh, that stolen painting that
Yeah.
was stolen?
Yeah.
Let me
I want
buy
that.
it.
Yeah. Like.
But anyway, they get up to the fence and Doug is like, just help me with this, like, whatever. And so they break through the fence. And then we go back to the first 2 guys who are moving the painting. And Barb is like, you better not hurt that painting. And she's like, get it out on the boat or I'll take it out of your hide. Like, that's how she talks the whole time. Because she's a bad bitch, you know?
She's a bad bitch.
And apparently Rich, who was like the buff guy, his brother's like, don't worry about my little bro. He's a little slow, but he's dependable. I was like, why does that have to be part of this?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter, really, any other time. It's like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like he's making bad choices throughout the rest of the movie, right?
I mean, he kind of does, but it doesn't have to be like, he's slow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It was dumb. It didn't really seem like there was a point.
It's like, we're more, brawn than brain, so, that's just all you need to know about us.
Exactly.
That's why you hired us.
Exactly.
So, I already know you're stupid. Okay.
So then we see them out on a rowboat, and they talk about how it was such a great getaway, and how nobody will hear them because they're rowing, and there's no motor on the boat, and they'll never think to look out here on the water, on the island, and all this stuff. And what makes me laugh is that they talk about how it was such a great getaway, but then later in the movie, Barb says that they got pulled over because they blew through a stop sign. So that doesn't sound... I mean, they didn't get caught, obviously, but like...
Well, she killed a cop, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, great getaway.
A good getaway.
Yeah. And then Barb says that the island is only another couple of miles ahead, and they can hide out there. And then what was so stupid was that you could see land behind them the entire time. Like, it looked like a normal, like a small lake. Not like, this should be an island in the middle of the lake. And if it is, it's not miles away. Yeah. Like, it was so... it bugged me the entire time. Yeah. And at the very end of the movie, they show the edge of the lake, and it's a big-ass lake. And I'm like, why didn't you film from this spot? Yeah. The whole time where there's open lake behind you? Yeah. They did not. But yeah. So... we, after Barb is like, oh yeah, the island is just a couple miles away, we see another underwater shot coming up onto the boat. And Rich stands up. I guess this is kind of where he's like stupid. He stands up and he's like, oh, there it is! As if you can't see a big ass island.
Land ho!
Yeah. And she's like, sit down, you idiot! Like, you're gonna knock the boat over! And all of a sudden, the boat gets bumped. And so they're like, whoa, what the fuck was that? Okay. And they get bumped again, and this time they all fall into the water. And they're like trying to search for the painting frantically, but it sunk to the bottom. And...
no. It's a wood frame on a can.
Yeah.
I mean, unless there's a lot of extra nonsense going on with...
Well, their painting sinks. Okay. I don't know.
Okay. That's the heavy paint then, I guess.
And then one of the guys, I think it's Jack, says that something just brushed his leg. And all of a sudden... I would
assume a lot of fish were in there. Kind of like, I'd be like, oh, this is a lake.
Yeah.
Like...
exactly. But then the shark swims back up and grabs his leg. But instead of him getting immediately sucked under... because it's a shark, he is able to, like, wade there for a minute and is, like, yelling for help, like, 4 times before he gets pulled in.
Okay.
I was like, that's not realistic at all.
The shark's just being like, hey, man.
Yeah, he just took Tiffany and was like,
yep.
So why would he be like,
okay, wait a second. Okay.
Also, this is a 50-foot shark.
In waist-deep water, he'd suck Tiffany in. Okay. Okay. Okay.
That comes into play a lot. And then we switch to a new scene where another car pulls up and there are 3 girls and a guy who get out. Okay. All of the girls are wearing booty shorts and bikini tops. Okay. Because that's how I like to travel in the car, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. And the 2 girls, Kristen and Tia, hop out and they are like immediately checking stuff out and they're super excited to be at the beach. Because the beach. Yeah. And Jill gets annoyed and she's like, oh, Kristen and Tia are only here because they want to be at the beach and they don't want to help me and all this stuff. And so we're like, okay.
Okay. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the guy, Mike, gets out and he's like, well, I'm here to help you. And he's like carrying all the equipment and stuff. Okay. And he talks about how he read her proposal and how he is looking forward to filming about the illegal oil drilling that is happening on the island. And it'll be great for her journalism degree and stuff.
Why would it be considered illegal if they have scientists signing off on it?
I guess they're illegal scientists.
Okay.
I don't really know. But apparently illegal drilling has been happening for years.
Okay. If they were like unethical drilling, I would be like, oh, I'm all for that. Ooh, yeah. But
they specifically said illegal.
All right.
I don't know.
But if they have a company that's like doing it, like...
yeah. I mean, companies do illegal things all the time.
Sure. But if people know about it.
Right? Like, if it's enough that you're studying it for journalism, why is no one shutting it down? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Paying off the politicians.
Right. So, yeah, she gets all huffy, and she's like, why did I even bring you guys if you're not going to help me? And one's like, well, I have the car that got us to the boat. And the other one's like, and my credit card paid for the boat. So that's why we're here.
I would be like, okay, you guys can play on the beach. Like,
right.
Like,
yeah. She was very, like, grumpy about it. But,
okay.
yeah. So meanwhile, the guy has gotten, like, all of their luggage and all of the shit out of the trunk. And he's like, yeah, don't worry, I got it all. So they walk away and leave the trunk wide open. Which, like, doesn't really matter in the scheme of things. But it's just one of those dumb movie things that I'm like, close the damn.
Like, why? First of all, okay, your battery's gonna die. Okay, because
you're gonna
the light's
be stuck.
Gonna be on. You're gonna get stuck there. Okay, second of all, somebody could get in through your trunk, climb through the back seat, get to your car.
Yep.
Steal the car.
Yeah. So then we go back to the group of criminals who have made it to the shore. And, yeah, they did. And none of the others were injured.
A couple of miles?
I guess. Well, the island was a couple miles away. So they weren't, like, I don't know.
Oh, did they get back to the land shore or to the island?
Oh, no, it was the island. You are right.
Because that's a lot of
Geography
swimming.
Means nothing in this movie.
Yeah, I'm just like, that's a lot of swimming, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's either that or drown, but like...
True.
It's a powerful motivator, but... Yeah, I'm just saying. I would most likely drown or get eaten by the shark.
Yeah.
And a 52-foot shark.
Yeah.
Okay. Would probably need to eat more than a person.
Uh-huh.
Because if a bus can eat, like, you know, how many second graders? Like...
How many kids can a bus eat? Yeah, you would think.
You'd think, right?
Yeah. Also, when the first guy died, Jack or whatever his name was, we like didn't see the shark because we were the shark, right?
Yeah.
So just putting that out there.
Oh, we're the killers.
We are the killers. We are the shark. But yeah, they make it to shore and they're like, "What the hell was that? It looked like a shark." And then one of them's like, "Well, dude, sharks don't live in fresh water." And I like how they keep saying that instead of like, "It's a fucking lake and there shouldn't be sharks."
Yeah.
But like, how did it get there in the first place?
Yeah, how would you, like, have thought that?
Yeah.
Like,
unless Canada was all an ocean, which it definitely could have been at some point, but...
Hang on, aren't there freshwater sharks?
Maybe not freshwater megalodons.
Probably not, but like... Bull sharks, which look like that.
Oh.
So there are freshwater sharks, dumb movie.
Where do they live?
There's also river sharks, I knew about that.
Alright. Well, we just proved this whole movie wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, Barb says that one of them needs to go back in and fetch the painting. And she's like, whoever does it will get half of Jack's share. And...
No, that painting's ruined. Sorry.
Right?
It's very
just because it was wrapped in a tarp.
Yeah, that's a ruined painting.
Yeah. So Jerry volunteers and Rich is like, no, you can't go out there. There's a shark. And Jerry's
There's
like
6 kinds of freshwater and river sharks.
Well, okay, cool.
Just never go to Saba, wherever that is.
All right.
Oh, a bull shark can be in both salt and freshwater.
Okay. Oh boy.
I learned a lot. So anyway.
You're welcome. Yeah, so Jerry says he's going to go in, and Rich is like, no, you can't go because of the shark. And Jerry's like, well, it's long gone, and besides, he just ate, so I'll be fine. Yeah, how many children can a bus eat? So he starts swimming out, and he goes underwater, and he's looking for the painting, and he sees the shark. And so, apparently, the group on land also can see the shark underwater.
A couple miles out?
I mean, far enough that, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Okay. Like, is the boat destroyed? Was the boat destroyed? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, because, I mean, I guess you could be like, oh, well, here's where the pieces were kind of still floating and stuff.
No. And later, she says it's like 300 feet from shore. So I don't know.
Okay.
Okay?
How many feet are in a mile?
Like 5,000. 50-something. 52? Okay. Something like that.
Maybe,
a lot.
Maybe they were closer than they thought.
Yeah. Couple miles means yards, I guess.
I feel like a couple miles would be the distance between like the edge of the lake to the island. Like like 2 miles in like general. Like
I don't know, unless it's a real big ass lake.
Yeah, because that's from fucking where I work over to Cafe Rio. That's 2 miles right there. So like
I don't know. It makes no sense. So the group on land sees the shark, and they make sure to yell and tell him that there is a shark. And as the shark swims past...
Like, my favorite thing is, like, what am I going to do?
Yeah. Thanks for telling me.
Now I'm going to die in fear.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. But every time the shark swims by, it's like... I'm like, all right.
Okay.
Someone found the sound effects button. Jerry starts swimming back, and he makes it back to waist level.
Okay.
Okay? And then we see giant fins come up out of the water.
Okay.
And it comes up behind him, and he's trying to catch his breath. in the water. Why would you not get all the way out of the water?
Oh, I would absolutely, like, I'd be treating that thing like a fucking tremor. If my toe is touching the water, I would be dead.
Yeah.
Like, if you are touching the ground, a tremor's gonna eat you. Like,
get out of the water.
Get out of the water.
You can catch your breath in 8 more steps.
Yep.
Yeah. So, suddenly, the worst CGI shark that I have ever seen in my entire life comes up and is like, it's like a bus mouth. Like, it really is, like, ginormous. Just, like, eats him whole.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how big this thing is.
Okay.
Okay, in waist deep water.
He would, like, he'd beach himself.
Yeah. Fucking how?
And I don't think sharks can swim backwards.
Don't know.
Can sharks swim backwards?
We're doing a lot of research. But yeah, there's like CG blood splatters everywhere, and it's just terrible.
They can't swim backwards. So, like,
I don't know. He does not get beached. He should a lot.
yeah.
But he doesn't. And then the group sees this, obviously, because he's like right in front of them. So yeah, the group does not react at all. Like literally, his brother goes, Jerry, and like shakes his head. Like, your brother just got fucking eaten by a shark.
Oh, yeah. No,
and
you're
not
going to
react
and crying and upset. Like,
even if you're a dude, like, I don't give a shit.
No, that's your brother. The brother you just didn't want to die because
of said shark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of said shark and because this bitch would shoot you in the head.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Is it, okay, was Jerry the one that was slow and dumb?
No.
So the other one was slow and dumb?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the one that just says Jerry.
I mean, I could kind of see that now.
I mean, yeah, but it's still your brother.
Yeah, it's still your brother.
Yeah. And then Doug just basically, like, pats him on the shoulder, and he's like,
bitches,
sorry about your brother. Exactly. And then we see the, like, college students are out on a boat, and the 2 girls are like, how much further? How much longer? And Mike is, meanwhile, rowing the boat by himself.
Okay.
Cool. And you
Mike for the win, VIP.
I know, right? This guy. And like I said, you can literally see land behind them the whole time. The whole time. And I'm like, why are you asking how much longer if you can see the land right there?
Yeah.
Unless you're just like going along with the shore and that's like the actual land and not the island.
Yeah.
But like, what?
I don't.
Yeah.
Blueprints of horror movies just don't make any sense, man.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think I said that the main girl's name is Jill, like the journalism girl.
Okay,
Her name is Jill, and then Tia and Kristen and Mike. So Mike is like, well, it's right there, so we're not going much further. And Tia's like talking about how there's going to be sun and sand and surf once they get there.
What surf?
Surf?
It's a lake.
You're on a lake.
Yeah.
Why are they acting like it's a beach? It's driving me nuts. But yeah, and then Jill...
It'd be different if they were like, oh, I'm so excited to be at the lake. Like, yeah. Because everyone knows
lake vacations are fun.
Yeah. Everyone knows that being at the lake is totally different than being at the beach. Yeah, you can still do, like, you can suntan and stuff.
Things,
you can maybe possibly build a sandcastle, but, like, not anywhere.
Not gravel beach.
Some beaches, I'm sure, but, like, not...
Okay. But yeah, she's talking about how fun it's going to be, and Jill is like, wow, so you're really not going to help. That's really cool. I'm glad we brought you, and all this stuff.
Bitch, they paid for everything.
Right? And
let them do what they want.
Yeah, and they're both like, well, we don't even know, like, we would just be in the way. Like, why would you want us to help? And all of a sudden, the boat bumps, and we see the shark in the water. And so they're like, row faster, Mike, row faster. And I'm like, someone take a damn oar and help him. But no, they don't. And then the water is calm for a second, so they think that it swam away. But then, obviously, the boat gets knocked over. And so they all start swimming for the island, and we see Mike get pulled under by the shark.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah.
MVP Mike over here.
Also, just keep in mind that said shark is big enough to swallow human whole. Okay? Okay. So
okay.
We'll get there.
All right.
So we see Mike get pulled under, and then the next shot is Jill laying unconscious on the beach. Like, she crawled up and then passed out, I guess, because she's like up out of the water.
Okay, well, because, like, not gonna lie, if it's a couple miles, I would be passed out dead. Too. Like, yeah,
it's true.
I don't know, I always feel like if I became in, like, a situation like this, I want to say I'd be the person that fights back, but I am 1,000% positive. Zombie apocalypse, shark movies, anything like
survival,
anything like that. My spirit would just leave my body, okay? I would just, like, as I'm floating away, be like, goodbye, world! Like, and my body would just be left. Like, I would be
gone.
So gone.
Just, like, scared shitless gone.
Just I saw it, I died, and that's it.
That was it.
Like,
that was it for me.
No need to, like, I promise, okay, when the zombie apocalypse happens, if that does happen to me, I really feel like I want to be a survivor.
Yeah.
I'd really like to try,
Yeah.
okay? But they have this scene from The Walking Dead where they're, like, crawling through a cave system, and they're, like, in the, like, pinched between, and they look back and there's zombies crawling after them.
No.
I guarantee you, I would say, everyone go, I'm just gonna die.
I will be the bait.
Bye-bye. Goodbye.
Bye-bye now.
And die. Just immediately die so that they would eat my body and let you all survive.
Yeah.
And straight up my ghost would be running along with you being like, this is so much better. Like,
I can do this part.
sorry. That's just,
Yeah.
I 1000% would be like, nope.
Bye-bye.
Bye, world.
Goodbye, cruel life.
You would see my spirit just being like, peace out. And flying up
Bye,
into the sky. Like,
Oh.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Jill's unconscious on the beach.
Good job, Jill.
Yeah.
You
But
made
then
it.
We see her wake up. And also, she's not wet at all.
Okay.
Okay. I don't think it's been a long time. I think she's just not wet
And
because
it's
they're
just-
stupid.
Yeah, they just didn't want to.
Yeah. So,
Is her hair done again?
I mean, it's not wet. So, it was just like down, but
okay.
still. So she kind of like wakes up and she like starts calling out for everybody and stuff. And she like is turning and yelling. And from that direction, stumble over Kristen and Tia.
Okay.
And they're like, you know, hobbling, holding on to each other and stuff. And they're yelling out too. And I'm like, you can see each other.
Yeah.
I can tell by the angles that you're looking, you can see each other. And then you run up to each other and it's not that far, so you can see each other.
Yeah.
And I just hate that. But anyway, they're like, oh my gosh. And they like meet together. And then Jill is like, well, did you see Mike? Did you see what happened? And they're like, I don't know. And so they start calling out for him. And Jill sees her camera case, which is like one of those big ass like metal camera cases. And it's like right on the shore, which I don't know how that didn't sink to the bottom, but a painting did.
That would have sunk.
A camera in like a big ass carrying
That
case.
would have sunk.
Yeah. So she sees the camera case and she goes and picks it up, and beneath it is Mike's leg. Just a leg.
Okay.
Why did it leave a leg?
Yeah. Why is it? Did it like get caught in its throat and was like,
Right? Like burped it up.
yeah.
But yeah, it's like it looked like a mannequin leg that had blood on the end. Like it was wearing like a shoe and sock, and it just looked so bad. Very plasticky. Like they didn't even try to give it like color
They couldn't
or
even
like
go get, like, a
make
Halloween
it pale
decoration?
or no, it was just a mannequin leg.
Okay.
Yeah. So they start freaking out, obviously.
Uh-huh.
And then we switch over to Barb and her henchmen. And they are watching the girl. They're kind of like crouched behind a rock because now they're all on the island together, right? And so they're watching. And the girls see them and they're like, hey, over here. And they start like flagging them down and walking over. And Barb is like, remember what I said? And I think it's Doug who's like, we'll play it cool. Okay.
Okay.
So you're not criminals.
Yep.
I'm glad you talked about pretending to not be criminals.
Right.
So
because if they walked up and they were like, oh, hey, oh my gosh, what are you guys doing
like,
on
we
this
didn't steal a
island?"
painting.
Yeah.
Nothing. What? I mean, maybe Rich would do that. I don't know. But play it cool. Yeah. So they walk over and Barb puts on like this super innocent voice and she's like, oh my gosh, stay away from the water. Are you guys okay? And they're like, yeah, our boat sank and our friend got eaten and all this stuff. And Barb is like, yeah, 2 of our group were killed by the shark too. And you're like, okay.
Okay.
Lady. Yeah. And Jill is like, well, who are you? And like, why are you here? And all this stuff. And so Barb introduces herself and Rich and Doug and skips over the why we're here and how we got here thing. But she's like, what was that thing?
All they had to do was be like, we just wanted a day at the lake.
Right?
And we were
just
boating.
Yeah.
And our boat was sunk. It's not that hard to lie.
Right? Yeah. Just skip over it. Yeah. But yeah, one of them was like, I think it was a shark. And then I think it's Tia who's like, I have never seen a shark that big or ugly before.
Okay, so we're just insulting it too.
I know, right? Do you want it to hear you?
Yeah.
Do you want it to eat you?
Because it's going to come back. It's
Yeah.
going to be like, that bitch
This isn't the end of the movie, you dumbass. So we transition to the next scene. So as the transition, we see a shot of the shark swimming through the water.
Okay.
It's so spooky. Yep. And they decide to go off into like the actual woods part because it's like a mountain lake. Okay. They go into the woods to get warmed off, and the girls like put on their shirts that they have with them
Okay.
through a boat capsizing. And so Tia basically is like, this is all Jill's fault because she had this vendetta against the oil drilling. And Barb asks if there's like other people on the island then, because if they're drilling here, maybe there's people. And they obviously came here to escape, so they don't want to be around people, but now they're stuck. And so, you know, it's like a whole
It's not like
thing.
they have the painting, so.
True.
Yeah.
And Jill explains that there's a lab here, but it's deserted. So I think they think it's like maybe they did illegal drilling and then they were told to stop, and so then it was deserted, and then they came back or
But
something.
they just kept doing it.
I guess. I don't know. Jill says that they were hoping to find a radio there because there's a radiator because theirs broke and there's no cell service conveniently, right? And she goes on about all this illegal research and, you know, what they're doing here. And Tia is like, Mike is dead because of this vendetta you have. And Jill gets super upset and she goes, "You're blaming me? How dare you?" And like walks off.
I am blaming you.
The acting is terrible.
Yeah,
but
we're
yes,
only here
it's
to
true.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, it is true.
Do I think that it's officially your fault? No. Are we here because of you? Yes. Like.
So then Barb asks what happened to their boat, and Kristen is like, well, that thing trashed it. And Rich says, that thing in the water is called a Megalodon. It's a monster shark.
How do you know that, sir?
You don't. You saw, like, a shark through the water.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, Barb she, like, yells at him a little bit. She's like, Rich, shut up. And then she's like, he's just emotional because his brother died today, so just ignore him. The slow one. So Jill walks back over with her camera and she is recording. And Doug freaks out and is like, get that camera off me. And he, like, takes it away from her.
Okay.
And Jill's like, well, we knew it's like important that we document this. Like, we're here, we might as well. And Barb is like, well, my friend just doesn't want to be filmed. And so they're all like, okay, cool. And Jill is like, you never said why you're here on the island. And Barb was like, yeah, I did. And they're like, no, you didn't. And she's like, oh, we were just out for a sail when the shark sank our boat. I'm like, so you're in black skin tight clothing and leather boots and like tank tops and stuff because you're boating?
Yeah.
I don't believe you. Yeah.
You know what she could have said? Like, what are you guys doing here? Oh, you're like investigating them doing illegal drinking? Us too! Whoa!
That's why we're in sleuth clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Tia and Kristen talk about how people know they're on the island, so someone's going to come looking for them eventually. And then Rich is like, well, not if that monster gets you first. And the girls start, like, you know, freaking out a little bit. And Barb is like, stop scaring the girls. And he yells at her that the monster is going to try to eat anyone that comes this way. And that Jerry would have known what to do if she hadn't just sent him back into the water. And is, like, telling all this stuff. And she's like, shut the fuck up. But, yeah, she's like, what happened to Jack and Jerry were accidents. That's all. Just accidents. And she, like, says it like that. And I'm like, well, if that's not conspicuous.
Yeah.
I don't know what is.
As a smart journalist person, I'd have been like,
so, we should leave.
we're gonna walk ahead.
We're just gonna go.
We're gonna...
Nice to meet you. Have fun. Yeah. Jill asks for her camera back from the group and says that she wants to document the shark, not them. So, like, don't worry. And Barb is like, well, it's gonna be dark soon, so we should just build a fire and stay here for the night, and we can look for the research center in the morning. And we see a very dramatic sunset transition shot kind of a thing.
Okay.
And then it fades into the rising sun, and the sun comes up over the horizon, and then we get another bright flash effect that transitions to another scene. So, like, whoo, 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 all over the place.
Oh, man. Don't watch if you're epileptic.
Right? Yeah. So the group wakes up, and they just decide to get moving to the research center. And Jill says that it should be a 5-hour walk if they go along the beach. I'm like, glad you know that.
Yeah.
Did you, like, Google Maps it?
Yeah,
or,
like
okay, whatever.
Also, why didn't you go to that side of the lake? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. But then, I think it's Tia's like, no way, I'm not going anywhere near the water. And so Doug suggests they cut across the land and stay away from the shore. And Jill is like, well, I don't know what animals live in the woods either. Like, it could be more dangerous. And they're like,
it could be snakes and shit.
Right? But more dangerous than a monster shark?
Yeah. Porque no las dos.
I mean, yeah. And then randomly, I did not hear anything. I love when this happens. Okay. Rich goes, I thought this island was abandoned. How come I keep hearing all this machinery all the time? Literally nothing happens. I rewound it. I did not hear anything. Anyway.
And Jill's like, because I just fucking told you that I'm here investigating the fact that the island is illegal drilling.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was just so random because they're like, there's dangerous animals and sharks and let's go across the land. Why do I keep hearing machinery? Like, why? Why is that the moment? It just sounded, it was weird. I don't know. Okay.
Sir.
Slow, sir. So this scene, this is what killed me.
Okay.
So they're deciding to walk through the woods. And they film this single file line of people from every angle imaginable. Okay. So it's like the camera behind them as they walk through, the camera in front as they walk toward the camera, their legs walking across the camera, a close-up shot of their feet walking across the camera. 2.5 minutes.
Oh my gosh, of them just
of walking through the woods silently.
Okay.
Silently.
No music.
Just crunching.
Okay.
Maybe there might have been music, but there was no talking. I don't think there was music. I don't know. It was awful. And they wait for the whole party to walk by before they do another shot.
Okay.
So it's like line of people. And
there's like, how many of
There's
us?
like
7?
6 of them, yeah.
Gosh. 6 or 7? Yeah. No, there's 6. 3 girls, or 4 girls, 2 guys. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that just, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. But then I pushed through. But yeah, I'm just like, I get that they had to walk for 5 hours or whatever, but like, they couldn't have been talking. They couldn't have happened.
Some kind of weird
Break
80s
it up.
montage.
Something.
Like, yeah.
Something. Yeah, but no. But finally, on one of the last shots, the last shot of them walking, it shows that the girls kind of go further and the like criminals pull back a little bit. And Doug is like, so what are we going to do about these girls? And Barb is like, I have a plan. And then she asks Doug if he still has his radio. And, Rich is kind of like off by himself. So it's like those two and then Rich is behind them. And he's like, yeah, I have mine and it's turned off. And Rich doesn't know that I have a radio. Okay. Because apparently he doesn't have one.
Okay.
And Doug asks how long their buyer is going to wait for them. And she says that the rendezvous was supposed to be tonight. So they have until then to figure this out. And Doug asks about the camera and the footage that Jill got of them. And she says that she took the tape when she took the camera from Doug. Okay. So before they gave it back to Jill, she palmed it. Then we kind of move up to where the girls are walking, and Kristen is talking to Jill about Mike being gone. And Tia is kind of like back behind them, so she can't hear them. And she's like, Mike had a thing for you, right? And
okay, well, he's dead now, thanks.
I know, right? And Jill is like, what? No, he didn't. And she's like, he gave up his spring break or vacation time or whatever and carried around all of that equipment for you. And Jill is just like, I thought he liked you. And they like go back and forth for a little while. And Jill is like, well, how long have you known? And she's like, since the 2nd grade, obviously. And like all this stuff. So that they go back, far.
All right.
And then Kristen is like, well, if anything happens to me, and Jill is like, oh no, we're not doing that. Like we're not going to talk about that kind of stuff. And she says that Jill needs to take care of Tia because she's the only sister she has. So apparently they're sisters.
Okay.
They look nothing alike except for they both have kind of red hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, Tia is supposed to be like the baby sister, and she definitely looks older to me. But yeah, so they're walking and they finally make it to this big warehouse, and Tia immediately just like sprints up yelling that they need help. And she's kind of like the slow one of their group. Because she's the young one. She's the baby sister. And they walk up to like... It's like a warehouse with a big garage door, and the garage is open, and so they walk in, and it like pans around so that you can see it looks pretty abandoned. And the bad guys walk up, and Barb tells them that they need to find a radio and see if anybody's here. And then it shows a shot of Tia running through another door, and she starts screaming. And so they like run after her, and they see a man who is like outside on the ground covered in blood, and it's the scientist guy.
Okay.
And it looks like he's dead at first, but as they like run up screaming, he starts like moving and breathing and stuff. And they're like, oh my gosh, he's still alive.
Was he like injured in the explosion?
Last night, I guess.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Okay.
So he starts like muttering something about the water, and Tia's like, I can get you some water if you need water. And he's like, no, stay away from the water. And he's like freaking out.
How would he know?
I don't know. But he's like, we drilled too deep. We unleashed something that hasn't been seen in 200 million years. And like all this dramatic stuff. Just like...
Okay, are we talking about like the second world that some people like speculate is under there?
No, it was frozen. underground.
Uh-huh.
And then they drilled into it, and it started melting and released into the water.
But no.
Yep.
Because this isn't Captain America.
Yep.
So, like, I hate when they're like, oh, no, it was frozen. And then, okay, so you're telling me all the people that are up on, like, Mount Everest that are frozen up there, that are just frozen bodies that are stuck up there. They're still alive. They're just chilling there.
Yeah. So we should go save them all and bring them back down. And
none of this ever makes sense. It drives me crazy.
And, like, I get that they're in Canada, but like, it's not that cold.
No.
Yeah. I don't know. So
fuck it. It just drives me crazy when they're like, it was frozen in the ice and
now it's alive.
Yeah.
Okay, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that is not how that works. At least Jurassic Park was like, look, we took their DNA and we put it into a frog, had the frog have sex with another frog, have that frog have sex with a lizard, and then there we go, we got babies. Yeah. And inject all that shit into ostrich eggs, and there we go. Like,
babies.
That's how they did Jurassic Park. So...
yeah.
I just know that ever makes sense to me.
No, it's a valid point. So the girls are like kind of down facing him because he's still laying on the ground. And all of a sudden from behind them, Barb pulls out her gun. And she's like, well, all of this is getting pretty tiresome. And they all turn around and they're like, well, what the fuck?
When did she have time to clean out her gun?
Overnight,
Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
Because like wet guns don't work, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Glad we established that because that doesn't come into play.
No?
Definitely not later.
It doesn't?
Okay. It does.
Okay.
So she's like, we need a boat or a plane or something to get off the island. And the scientist says that there is no way off the island because the shark destroyed everything and won't let them leave. How? Every boat you had, it destroyed?
Yeah.
For all the scientists that are there?
Yeah.
And the chairman?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Barb
and
says...
there's no radio to call help and be like, hey, listen, there's something in the water destroying all the boats. We need a helicopter.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because
it would probably jump out of the water
I
and
guess.
eat the helicopter.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, clearly it can do shit like that.
It can do shit.
Survive in ice.
So.
Swim backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the Barbs.
The Barbs.
So Barb orders them to get going, and she tells the girls to help the scientist walk with her.
Why does she need the gun? Why couldn't she be like, we need to get off the island? We're people that need to get off the island.
Because it got tiresome.
Okay.
She was sick of it.
Okay.
She was just done.
I mean, I guess criminals don't really think very
Criminals
well.
be criminals.
Yep.
So Jill asks where she wants them to go, and she goes, we're going fishing. So the group is now at the edge of the lake.
All I'm saying is you can't kill a bus with a gun. What are you going to do with a shark? Like,
That's, yeah.
okay.
So, I mean, really all they need is the painting. So
Yeah.
hopefully, I don't know. So the group is now at the edge of the lake, and Barb explains that when the shark tipped over their boat, they lost something very valuable in the water. So now he has to go in, or someone has to go in and get it. And she's like, well, Mr. Scientist, since this is all your fault, you get to go in first. And he's like, no, why don't you just shoot me? Because I'm dead either way. And that sounds better. Mm-hmm. And she says, well, how about to save a life then? And she starts pointing it at the girls. And they freak out. And so he's like, no, they're just children. Like, don't shoot them. I'll go in.
You know what would be smarter? The smarter thing to do? Because sharks are more drawn to blood. Mm-hmm. Him being all bloody and stuff, he should just be like wading around in the water over here, and when the shark kind of gets close, he runs back up onto shore.
You would think.
And then, keeps doing that, like teasing the shark, and then somebody else can go. Not I'm saying the painting's not worth it, but like,
is it?
Bro, it's just...
Yeah. What's funny, now that you mentioned blood, is as the doctor starts going in, he's like wearing a lab coat and he's all bloody and stuff. And Doug goes, hey, Duck, you better lose that bloody lab coat. It'll be like barbecue sauce to the shark.
Also, that'd be too heavy and difficult to swim with. But
it's true. But also, your body is covered in blood.
Yeah, like, so you're covered in blood. Yeah. Sir. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Barbecue sauce. Oh, he says barbecue sauce to the critter.
The critter.
He's like, that's not a critter.
That's not a critter.
A critter is a chipmunk.
Yeah.
Like, no.
A critter is a four-legged mammal, sir. Like,
not a fucking giant-ass shark.
Not a fish.
So he takes off his lab coat and he starts heading into the water. And Barb tells him that the spot is about 300 feet out. Can't miss it. But also she doesn't tell him what he's looking for. She says something valuable and then doesn't say anything else.
What is he supposed to... I'm going to
go look for buried treasure.
Yeah, like, I'm going to go look for this fucking tarp on the ground. Like,
yeah. Why would I suspect a tarp
Oh, I'm having a fucking brain aneurysm
Yes.
right now. Understand why you had difficulty watching this
I
movie.
know.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And then I said, maybe I'm just terrible at judging distance. But what? Like, it definitely, that doesn't make sense.
No.
The scientist gets about knee deep before he gets eaten by the shark. So, that's his sweet spot.
Yep.
Knee deep.
Yeah, he's just hanging out in the shallows right there.
Yeah.
Like, is he, like, slinking himself as flat as possible? And he's just like, dun-dun-dun-dun. Like,
Your face was good.
because I just...
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
That's too fucking
Like, the top half of his body would have been, like, out of the water.
Yeah.
Unless there's a serious drop-off point.
Yeah, just
somewhere.
like all of a sudden, like...
Yeah. Nothing. I don't know. But yeah, as he's getting eaten, it shows, like, a close-up of Doug and Rich, who are just like, whoa, cool, yeah, haha, great. And I'm
Okay,
like,
but now your painting's still in the water, dumbasses. Like,
yeah. And then Barb is like, okay, well, we need to send someone else in there. And she, like, turns...
with the shark right there doing this shit. Like, you're
Yeah.
just gonna keep losing people, and then you're gonna have to go in yourself and get it.
But she says it's because the shark just ate.
Doesn't matter. It clearly has eaten 4 people in the last, like
Half a day.
Half a day.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 72 hours, but that's not even, like...
Yeah. But as she says that they need to send someone else in, she turns and realizes the girls ran off because the boys were goggling over him being eaten by a shark.
Good job, girl.
She's like, you fucking idiots. And so she sends them into the woods after the girls. And we see the girls running through the woods, and they decide to run back toward the warehouses to find a radio.
Wait, so was their buyer gonna pick up the painting from the lake?
I don't know.
Why would they hide out on a lake then?
I don't know if they, like, went there to hide out and then were planning on just, like, going back at night. Then, because it's, like, the next night is when they're expecting the pickup.
Yeah, because
So they had a
I would
full
have gone
day.
literally anywhere else.
But who would expect a getaway on a boat to a deserted island?
No one, because it's an asinine, like, plan.
It's idiotic.
Like, let alone the fact that there is a shark in the water. All I'm saying is that you're going to go hang out on an island that is possibly inhabited.
And you're going to leave your car
Yeah.
there to be found.
What if the cops found the car?
Yeah.
They would be
Where
like, oh
else
my
would you
gosh.
go?
Like, yeah, they'd be like, oh, they probably made it to the lake.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a criminal. I don't know. Not today.
This is not a smart plan.
But yeah, so they decide to go back to the warehouse to look for a radio, and they're like paused and like trying to catch their breath when they're talking about this, and then they hear gunshots, and so they keep running, and Barb radios Doug, and she's like, "Don't shoot them, we need them alive," and all this stuff, and we see Doug, who's alone, and he's like, "That wasn't me, I wasn't shooting at them," and so then he radios and he goes, "Rich, can you hear me?" So apparently he has a radio.
Oh, okay.
And he says, do not, or she radios and she's like, do not shoot them, Rich. And then we see Rich, who's in the woods, and he has both hands on his gun, okay? And he's pointing his gun at these girls through the trees, okay?
Okay.
And you hear Barb saying over the radio, do not shoot them, we need them alive. And with both hands on his gun, he starts talking into his radio that you need to push a button to talk into.
Uh-huh.
Right? And he says that they need to sacrifice the girls to the shark, dead or alive. And they hear this over the radio. And they're like freaking out. And he goes to shoot at the girls. He goes to shoot at Tia. And Kristen comes up behind him and knocks him out with a stick.
Okay. Good job, Kristen.
And they go to reach for his gun. But Doug runs up and is like shooting at them. And so they take off without grabbing it.
Uh-huh.
And then Doug tells Rich that he's like, you're crazy. We need these girls alive. What are you doing? We need bait and all this stuff. And
But you just fired at them too.
yeah, but I think he was like firing around them.
Okay.
But
A deterrent.
yeah. But Rich is like, that shark will never let us off the island. And Doug is like, get a grip. I'm sorry about your brother, but it's just a fish. And like he says that a lot.
Okay.
And Doug radios Barb and says that they're going after the girls. And he tells Rich to buck up. He's like, Barb is going to skin you alive. I don't want to have to kill you because I don't want to be stuck alone with the Ice Queen. And like all this stuff. And I'm like, she's a bitch. But like, she's not portraying like what you think she's portraying. But anyway, they run after the girls.
Yep.
And then we see this very short slow motion clip of the girls running into frame. And then we get that same shot in regular motion. Like, they're running past the same things.
Okay.
So I don't know what the point of that was.
Okay.
And then Kristen is, like, panting and saying that she can't run anymore, but Jill is urging her onward. And so they start slow motion running again.
Okay.
And it shows that they're running, like, right on the edge of the water.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, Rich comes, like, running, like, perpendicular and grabs Tia and, like, throws her in the water. And so Kristen, this is all slow motion. Kristen jumps on his back, but then he like, you know, gets her off and she falls into the water. And it's like this dramatic angle and this dramatic angle. And it's like all slow motion, all terrible the whole time. And then also every time they do a new angle, it's like the whooshing, flashing light.
Oh, I hate that.
Transition. Yeah. So he's like getting Kristen off his back and she falls. And Tia starts booking it to shore. And we get this shot of Jill, who is sitting on the beach, reaching out for Tia to run up to her. And they, like, hug each other and start crying. I'm like, book it!
Yeah.
Why are you sitting on the beach? Fucking run!
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. So they're sitting there, and, Tia sees Kristen in the water. And so she starts, like, slow motion yelling at her. And Kristen is starting to swim to shore. But the Megalodon...
How far did he throw them into the water?
I mean, just like to like need, you know, just like out. So it's not very far. Where the Megalodon comes up and eats her. Yeah.
Okay.
And again, it's very, very terrible.
So Kristen
CG.
Okay.
So Kristen dies. Rich comes over with his gun and tells them, he's like, don't do that again. Which was just kind of like a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because you did all of it. We didn't do anything.
You did all
except for get out of the water.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we get another flash and whoosh, but it doesn't transition anything.
Okay.
Because the girls are sitting there, and it's the shot of them sitting there. And then he says, don't do that again. And it flashes and whooshes, but it's the same angle, same shot, and they just slow motion cry for like 0.2 seconds.
Okay.
So.
I'll write that.
So the group is back in the woods now. And you can clearly see that there is a good amount of light. Like, it's kind of dimmer in the trees because you're in the trees. But on the edge, it is bright. And you can see that very clearly. And Barb tells them that this will all have to wait until tomorrow because it's getting too dark to see out on the water. Because it's apparently nighttime.
Oh, yeah, because 5 hours walk.
Yeah.
Does that to you. Like,
it's been a long day.
Okay.
And then Doug asks about the rendezvous. And Barb says, there will be another. And so you're just hoping your buyer won't be like, fuck these guys?
Yeah.
Or do you have possible other buyers?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
And then Barb asks the girls, she's like, are you guys going to be any more trouble? And Tia responds, you're chum, bitch. So that's what the writing is like in this movie. So Barb orders...
hurt me a little.
Oh, it's bad. Do you have goosebumps? Like, I get goosebumps?
I don't like that. I got chills down my...
Your chum, bitch.
That is just like something on my shirt.
Yeah,
we should take our favorite lines and like...
Make merch. Can we do that with lines from movies?
I don't know.
I don't either.
We can make our own things.
Okay.
I don't know.
So Barb orders that the girls be tied up, and she says that they all need to get sleep for tomorrow, because it's going to be a big day tomorrow, right? So now we see the moon through the trees. So it's nighttime. And we see that Rich is the one who is like taking watch over the girls. And I think only their hands are tied. And like Jill is sleeping against a tree. And then Tia has her head in her lap. And they are in their shorts and their bikini tops. Not their shirts. Don't know.
Okay.
Too uncomfortable to sleep in.
They were wet.
Yeah. And it's dark enough that like you can see that it's Rich, but it's kind of like...
so Jill wore a bikini too?
All of them. They all got out of the car initially in bikini tops and booty shorts.
Okay, so Jill wanted to be on the fucking beach too.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Jill.
I know. It's not like she was in like nerd clothes or something, you know? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess if you were like, well, I'm worried I might get wet. Like, I would, you know.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
Bitch, you wanted to swim too.
But yeah, it's dark enough that you can't see a ton, but you can tell that it's him. And he's like crouched down in the darkness. And then the camera starts like slowly panning like up Tia's legs and lingering on her body and then on Jill, but it like doesn't show her face. It like pans up to her boobs and then back down Tia's body and like, and as he's crouched there, we see him kind of do that like creepy, slow head tilt thing. Like he's looking a little too much. And he's
slow. Shark to like walk up on land and be like,
fuck you, man.
I'm gonna eat you right now. It's like, dude, I am a monster, but I'm doing it because I'm hungry.
Yeah,
okay,
you're just a
monster. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so he stands up and he kind of like slowly starts taking a few steps. And then Barb walks up and she's like, it's my turn to take watch now. So you can go get some sleep.
Thanks,
for
Barb.
Tomorrow.
Girl code.
I know, right?
I'm gonna kill you bitches, but girl code.
Yeah. And so she sits down and Barb goes, I know you're awake. I can tell the difference in your breathing. And so Jill is like, well, from one girl to another, thank you. And Barb is like, well, I don't think you should be saying thanks yet. And Jill is like, you know what I mean.
Uh-huh.
And Barb is like, okay, well,
okay,
you're
but
welcome.
also as Jill, I would have been like, sir, I'm awake.
Yeah. Like, please don't fucking touch me.
Yeah.
Like, also, their legs aren't tied.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I know someone's watching over them, but still. And then they have this stupid ass moment that they have in every movie where, like, the victim asks the bad guy questions and the bad guy answers them truthfully.
Yeah.
Why does this happen? I don't know either. So,
because the bad guy's like, well, I'm going to kill you anyway, so I might as well be vulnerable.
Don't do that.
Okay, but, I really like that in romance stories, so. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm a weirdo like that.
All right.
Yeah.
Jill,
to lovers.
Oh, this scene. I hate this scene.
Okay.
Jill asks why they stole, or what they stole, and Barb says that it's a painting. And Jill's like, oh, is it something that I would know? And Barb says it's a John Singleton Copley, who was an American painter from Boston who died about 200 years ago.
Okay.
And it just felt so unnatural.
Okay.
And then Jill was like, oh, it sounds like it might be worth a lot of money. And she's like, yeah, to the right collector it could be. And Jill was like, okay, well, how did you steal it? And she was like, well, it was pretty easy. We had someone keeping a cop busy at the bank next door.
Uh-huh.
And then they were posing as security guards at the museum.
That name looked familiar. I know some of his paintings.
Oh, nice. So. And then they posed as security guards at the museum. And so when they were securing the place, they just did like sleight of hand and took a fucking painting.
Okay.
And then... But then she says that they got pulled over for blowing a stop sign. Uh-huh. So they like barely made it to their getaway boat. And now all of this is happening. So it didn't really go according to plan. Then
I'm just, okay. If you commit a crime, okay, do not commit any more crimes.
To get you pulled over.
Yeah.
Don't speed. Don't go through lights.
Nope.
Don't go through stop signs.
Make sure whatever vehicle you're driving is up to date on all of the, like,
has all of the headlights.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just don't.
People are stupid.
If you
like,
want...
people who traffic drugs through here all the time, I'm like, don't go 95.
Yeah.
Why are you speeding? You're gonna get pulled over.
Well, they're on drugs. Like... But it baffles me because I'm like, you got caught breaking the law and then they realized you were breaking the law. Like, I just...
Yeah. You're dumb.
You're dumb.
Don't be dumb. So Barb starts...
Again, first college lawyer, not your mom. So...
Barb starts chuckling to herself. And Jill is like, what's so funny? And so she explains that the painting they stole is called Watson and the Shark. And it's a depiction of the first recorded shark attack. Yeah, pull it up.
Okay. It's a real painting?
It's a real thing.
Oh, okay.
Watson and the Shark. But why did this need to be part of the movie?
Yeah.
I don't... Like, who saw that and was like, let's make a shark movie out of it?
It's... Okay.
Fucking Tomcat Productions.
Right. The first depicted shark attack. Why is he naked?
I don't know.
Oh, that's an ugly shark.
Yeah.
Why is he naked?
I don't know. He was just going for a dip.
All the rest of them are wearing clothes, though.
Skinny dip. Or was it a guy in the boat?
I don't know.
Or the guy in the water is naked?
The guy in the water
he's just going for a little skinny dip.
I guess. But, like, they're about to, like, kill that fucking thing.
Oh,
like,
yeah. They're harpooning that bitch.
Yeah. Okay.
So, they stole that one for reasons, apparently.
Okay.
So, Jill says that she knows how they can get the painting.
Okay.
And Barb goes, how? And Jill says, no. So why did you bring it up?
Okay.
And Barb is like, well, you don't have a lot to bargain with, as she holds up her gun. And Jill is like, well, sooner or later, people are going to be coming looking for us. And then she also says she knows how to scare off sharks, even big-ass ugly ones like that.
Okay, then why have you not been doing that?
Right? And so Jill says that dynamite will keep it away. And I'm like, why would you tell her that?
Okay,
First of all.
And
she's like, I'll tell you where you can find some on the condition that you let us go. And Barb is like, well, if you can keep that shark away, you have a deal. And I wouldn't trust that at all.
No.
But Jill goes, I'd shake your hand, but I'm a little tied up right now. I hate the script so much.
Yeah, I got goosebumps again.
Yep. I'm telling you. I'm almost done. Okay.
Oh, bueno.
So, we see the sun come up. And now the girls are asleep, not tied up, on a blanket in a whole other location.
Okay.
Like, closer to the shore. So, I don't know if they walked in the middle of the night and then fell asleep again.
Where'd they get the blanket?
If they got moved. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Don't know any of those facts. So, Barb wakes them up by...
I like Barbs. Let's call her Barbs.
By dropping a bag on the ground.
Okay.
And she's like, it wasn't hard to figure out where the dynamite was once you told me it was here. So,
yeah, it's probably where all of the drilling shit is.
Yeah.
So
imagine it's with the warehouse and all the shit. Mm-hmm. Weird. Yeah. So Jill is like, well, we told you where the dynamite was, so are you going to let us go? And obviously not. So Barb goes, I have a plan. And if you don't stick to my plan, Doug will pull out his little gun and blow your brains out.
Okay.
But then she also never tells us what the plan is. So,
okay.
Yeah. So she tells Rich that she sees the shark coming. So Rich goes down and throws a stick of dynamite dramatically into the water. Mm-hmm. And the shark starts swimming the other way. And so Barb tells the girls that it's their turn to do their part. And Tia's like, I'm not getting in that water. And she starts like screaming. And Jill is like, everything's going to be okay. I'll be with you the whole time. They're going to keep the shark away because they have to or else we die. And she's like, I told your sister that I would look after you. So I'm gonna.
This is looking after you, making you get back in the water.
With sharks. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and then she's like, we're going to find the painting and then Barb will let us go. Everything will be fine. Nothing bad will happen. All this stuff. So they head down into the water, walking in slow motion, hand in hand, right? And they slow motion take off their tank tops that they weren't wearing last night. So,
but now they are.
Don't know what happened.
Okay. It's not like they're in a jungle where it's ridiculously hot.
Right.
Like, but even still, just a tank top wouldn't be that hot. Whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So they take off their tank tops. They grab each other's hands and they walk into the water. And they ask Rich to throw another stick of dynamite so that their space is clear, you know. And they are standing knee deep in water. That sweet spot, right? They dramatically look at each other. And then they dive head first into the water, knee deep. So maybe there really is this crazy drop off.
Maybe
I don't know, but no. Why?
That's not how that would work.
Nope. So we see a quick shot of the shark underwater.
Okay.
And then we see the girls say they found the painting, and they do not look 300 feet off of shore. But hey, who knows?
Maybe it floated. Maybe it was just drifted underwater.
No, because they were underwater.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they swim down and they see another shot of the shark. And so they come up and they start swimming back toward the shore. And they're like, throw some more dynamite. The shark is coming out. And Barb and Doug have their guns pointed at them. And they're like, no, get back in the water. And Jill says that they can't lift it because it's stuck to the bottom of the lake somehow. So I don't know. So Barb's like, well, you need to try harder. And so they ask for another blast of dynamite. And the girls start swimming back out into the water. But they haven't gone very far yet. And, they haven't gone far enough that they seem out of earshot. But they start talking to each other about, what are we going to do? And we can't really do this and all this stuff. And I think it's...
Well, wait, how deep is the lake? If they can, dive down, but,
I don't know. Big enough for a Megalodon?
I guess.
I don't know. But yeah, not deep enough that they couldn't swim. So they decide that Rich has a gun and the dynamite. So if they take him out, they'll kind of have the upper hand, right? So it shows one of them grab a huge rock underwater, and they come back to shore, but they don't come all the way up out of the water, and they're like, we just need to catch our breath. We can't swim that long. We just need to catch our breath. But they also start moving toward where Rich is, and they're like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, we just need to catch our breath. Everything's fine. And so they ask that he throw another stick of dynamite because the shark's coming and they need to go back out. So he lights one, and right as he's about to throw it, Tia chucks the rock at his chest, and so he drops it and it explodes.
Okay.
Yeah. So Jill goes up on the shore and she grabs the gun, which was sitting right on the edge of the water. And she grabs the gun, but Doug shoots at her, and it grazes Jill's arm. And so she drops the gun in the water. And Tia grabs it up, but Barb is like, put the gun down, girly. And Tia goes, you first. So,
Okay.
Yep. So Barb orders Doug to walk over and get the gun from her. And he's acting like super weird and like he's disoriented or in pain. And he like keeps grabbing his ear. So I'm like, maybe it's from the explosion. But the explosion was on the other side of his head. Not the ear that he's clutching. So I'm just like, I don't know what's happening.
Maybe he wasn't paying attention.
Right? And so he's like, what? What are we doing? Oh yeah, I'll grab the gun. What if they shoot me? Oh! And he was like acting like an 8-year-old who got thrown on set who didn't know what he was doing.
Like he just suddenly had a weird kind of brain, like...
Yeah. Some weird switch.
Yeah, okay.
Uh-huh.
Alright.
So he starts moving toward the girls who, like I said, are on shore, just like further down. But he is walking through the water, like waist deep in the water.
Okay.
To get to them.
Because he knows there's a shark. He had to have had his brain had to have gotten scrambled in that explosion.
Something. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. He starts walking toward them, and
of course
he's waist deep in water, and then we see shots of the shark swimming up, right? And Tia somehow sees the shark swimming under the water, and she tries to warn him, but it's too late. And he gets eaten. So Barb tells the girls to get back in the water and get her painting, but Tia's like, no, what are you gonna do, kill us? And she says, between you and the shark, you're not a threat. And Barb gets kind of like all huffy over that. And Barb starts getting angry, and all of a sudden, Barb is standing on shore. Okay? Barb is on shore.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All of a sudden, we see the shark jump up out of the water. I have a picture.
Okay.
Jump over Tia and Jill.
He's gonna be a hero.
Kind of.
If it pulls out a laser gun, then we're gonna...
Surprise! This is him jumping over Tia and Jill.
Okay.
So he jumps over, chomps Barb, leaving her legs, like her knees down, standing, and then somehow dives back into the water. I don't know.
So now it can fly and
I don't know. It
break the
somehow
laws of
turned
physics.
around in the air and jumped.
It must have used its tail to smack against the beach
was
and
like,
launch
phew.
itself back the other way
Yeah.
without us seeing.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So Tia says that they need to kill the shark because it's going to run out of food and it's going to start looking elsewhere. And then she says, what would happen if that thing found a populated beach?
What populated
It's
beach?
in a lake. It can't go anywhere.
Yeah, what populated beach?
It's not going to grow feet and like walk on its fins and get out.
It's going to house shark it. That's what it's going to do.
I guess. Maybe that's how we got the house shark. So Jill asks how they're going to kill the shark. And Tia bends down, picks up a bundle of dynamite and says, the hillbilly way. She wasn't even there.
Yeah, for the...
Why are they fixed on this?
What?
Like, I get that people, like, actually throw dynamite to kill fish.
Yeah, but, like, that's not exactly... That's just illegal fishing.
We're almost done, I swear.
You're okay?
So...
I'm just, like, being traumatized by this movie.
Yeah. So we see them standing on shore waiting for the shark. But they're like, oh, he's waiting too long. He's not coming. We need bait. And so they both look over and they, like, see Barb's legs sitting there, which seems like a great choice. But they decide not to do that.
Oh.
So Tia says, I'll go in. And she starts walking toward the water.
No, oh my fucking no.
And then Jill stops her. And she's like, I'm already wounded and bleeding. So the shark is going to smell me no matter where I am. And I told Kristen that I would protect you. And
Okay.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
Jill jumps into the water and she starts swimming out. And we see shark vision, swimming through the water and through the vegetation and all that fun stuff. And Jill starts yelling at the shark from the water. And she's like, hey, you ugly fish. That's enough junk food. How about some gourmet? Thinking pretty highly of yourself.
Yeah, you are. Oh my fuck. Like, excuse you. Second ago, it just launched over the two of you to get to someone else that it couldn't even reach from the water. Like,
yeah, just saved your life.
Yeah.
But now it's gonna eat you.
Second of all, I clearly wanted her more than I wanted you. So
yeah,
you smell like gross lake water right now.
Yeah. So Tia says that she sees the shark, and she says that she will tell Jill when to duck. Okay, so Jill is just like waiting in the water. And Jill's
how do you like duck in the water? Like, do you just like put your
go
head
underwater,
in there? Like,
I guess.
How do you go further underwater? Like, how do you...
None of this makes sense, okay?
Yeah, it really doesn't.
So
I'm really struggling right now. How did you do this? How did you watch this whole
It took me so long. The last 20 minutes of this movie, it took me an hour to watch. Okay? Okay. So, Tia tries to light the dynamite, but she can't get her lighter to work.
Because she's wet.
Yeah. So it just sits there. She's like flicking it, flicking it, and flicking it. And like, it took a very long chunk of time. I'm like, she would be dead. Yeah. Jill would be eaten by now.
Yep.
Okay? And it just keeps like showing shots back and forth of like Jill in the water and Tia can't light the thing. And
right.
blah.
Literally, the shark has killed someone faster than anyone could sneeze.
Yeah.
So like...
Yeah.
Okay.
If you saw the shark in the water, you're fucked.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
He's not just like chilling.
Yeah, you're already fucking
waiting.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So finally, she gets it lit and she tells Jill to duck. Okay? And luckily, she throws the dynamite this far out, chucks it. Shark comes up out of the water instead of just fucking eating Jill.
Like he has been.
Yeah. So he comes up over her head as she ducks and the dynamite goes into its mouth. And he explodes. Okay?
Okay.
Good thing that Jill didn't get any part of that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because she was right in front of him.
Yeah.
So she swims to shore and she's like, "You did it, Tia. You killed the shark. We did this. Ha!" And so they basically talk about what they're going to do next. And they like wrap their arms around each other and start walking away from shore. And it shows them like walking down like not really a dirt road, but it's like where tires have worn, you know, the vegetation away next to the lake. And they just walk away with their arms around each other. And then
okay, there's
we
more.
we see a shot of a couple older guys fishing. And they're on like this kind of like rocky part of the lake. And this is where you can see how big the lake actually is, which I don't know why they didn't show that before. So there's the two young men and there's like like a young adult girl. Okay, at least she looks like an adult to me. And we learned that one of the guys is her stepdad. So they're just out there fishing with his buddy, I guess. And the not dad is like, "Man, I don't get it." And you're like, "You don't get what?" And he's like, "I just don't understand how that beautiful young specimen over there is really your stepdaughter." I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "Well, I don't really know what to explain."
Like, don't say that again.
Right?
Ever, please.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Like,
yeah.
Do you want to drown? Because I'll drown you.
Then the guy goes on and says, "I've seen your wife, and she's this large, burly woman." And like, partway through it, he's kind of like, your wife. Maybe I should be nice.
Yeah, because she's gonna crush you. Yeah. with her legs. Like,
yeah. And then he's like, "She doesn't look anything like that. It doesn't look like she shares genes with her at all." And the stepdad is like, "Well, you know what they say, even big ugly things can have offspring." And then a shark jumps out of the water and eats them. The end. But instead of the end, they put fin. So
those fuck faces. That's funny and not.
But it makes me wonder, like, is it supposed to be the same lake? And it also melted and here is shark? Or is this a different lake that also had a melted megalodon? Or
that was pregnant, that its baby also did not die? Or were there more megalodons?
Born? Yeah, and also frozen? I don't know. I hope there's not a Jurassic Shark too. I didn't look. Oh my goodness. Good golly.
Oh,
gosh. I can't. So I don't know what this production company thought they were doing, putting CGI in with water.
Yeah.
That sounds like the stupidest thing you could have ever done.
Yeah.
And it was. It's terrible, you guys. Like, I've seen some bad CG, but I feel like we should wrap this up before we
I could spend an entire
crazy.
time just like reading over.
We're gonna have some Tomcat productions coming up, that's for sure.
Oh, I know what I want to watch.
Oh boy. Don't tell me.
I'm not gonna tell you.
Okay. So, the acting was terrible. And like I said, it took me so long to get through this movie. Like, the 1.5 rating is generous. I think I would rather watch 12-12-12 again, honestly.
Yeah?
It was so bad.
Oh my god.
So bad. You just saw, 3 seconds of it. It was painful.
That was way bad.
I'm sorry. That's my pain for the week. Hope you enjoyed. I don't even know what else to say. Alyssa's just reading through other movie names.
Is that a porno?
Probably.
My Fireplace Girl, Beauty in Black, came out in 2020.
Oh.
Not your ordinary fireplace video. Come get comfortable with a roaring fire and a beautiful young lady to keep you company. It has a sequel. My Fireplace Girl's Christmas Special, Yule Log Lover.
Who is giving them money? Stop it.
There's a director. Who directs that? I need to find where you can watch this because, like, that's...
Well, most of their movies are on Tubi. This one was.
Oh, is Tubi free?
Yeah. It has ads, but...
That's okay.
It's okay.
Download Tubi.
It's just a website.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, if you really want to punish yourself, you can watch that on Tubi.tv. I would recommend you don't, but hey, who's going to stop you?
Right?
If you haven't already, please check out our other episodes. We are on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher, all over the place. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Subscribe, like, send us an email.
Oh, the email. You didn't do the email.
bmoviebashpodcast@gmail.com. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, questions, tell us to shut the fuck up. That's cool too.
Insult us for making you listen to this.
How dare we? I know. But
you know.
we love it and we love you. So have a great time.
Have a good time.